Anyone and everyone can create this cute little house in Blender. With this tutorial, even grandma can be a 3D artist and still get great looking results in a short amount of time. This video is sponsored by Storyblocks. More about everything they offer later on in the video. Time to pick up your mouse, set down your keyboard, and fire up the latest version of Blender. I have the little shortcut keys tool to show you what key I'm pressing and what button I'm clicking down in the corner, in case I ever miss a shortcut. I know Blender can sometimes just be shortcut simulator, so if I ever miss a shortcut, you can reference that down in the corner. And now, as every veteran Blender user knows, we'll start by hitting X and deleting the default cube, then hit Shift A and add in a mesh. We'll go cube. With your basic 3D cube selected, hit number pad 1 to switch to side view, and then hit S to scale this cube. Scale this 1.5 times by typing 1.5 on your keyboard along the X axis by hitting X. This will be the front of your house. Now by pivoting around in your viewport with the middle mouse button, I'm going to tab into edit mode, hit Ctrl R and add a loop cut along the side of the cube. Then I'll switch to edge select mode, as you can see up in the corner here. Grab that top edge and then hit G and Z to pull it up along the Z axis. That's a nice pitch to our roof right there. Now with our basic house structure, let's build onto it a little bit. We'll go Shift D to duplicate this entire mesh, then hit R 90 to rotate 90 degrees, and Z to rotate it 90 degrees along the Z axis. This is what I meant by shortcut simulator, but your workflow gets so much faster if you learn some of these basic shortcuts. Now jump to top view. Yep, the shortcut is on your keyboard. It's number pad 7. Hit G to pull it forward, and then S and Y to scale it down along the Y axis. Then I'm going to hit S and X to scale it down nice and narrow, and we'll pull it over along the X axis again, towards the corner of our home there. That looks pretty good. The only thing is that our house might be a little bit too tall for my liking right now. So what you can do is select face select up in the top corner here. Grab the 4 faces of your roof pieces right now, and then hit G and Z to pull this down along the Z axis. Now I'm going to add a little dormer to the front of the house here. So we can select this portion of the house and just duplicate it. To select it, just hover over it and hit L to select that loose piece of mesh. Then hit Shift D to duplicate, and S to scale it down. Just positioning it right about there looks pretty nice. And that's looking really good for our base mesh. To add some shading to this, let's go ahead and change it to matte cap shading in our viewport here, and also choose cavity. Next up, let's add some overhanging roof pieces to our mesh. To this, make sure you're tabbed into edit mode with face select still selected. Grab both portions of your roof as you see here, hit Shift D to duplicate, then S to scale, and then hit E to extrude this up nice and thick. Now you see we have a nice chunk of roof there. We can just hit L to select it and then G to pull it down to about the right height. And we'll go around and do the same thing for the different sections of roof here. Duplicating it, scaling it, and extruding it nice and thick. There we have it. That's looking like it's got much more character to it now. A few little extra details we can do to it is tab into edit mode. Place your 3D cursor by shift right clicking in the area you want to place it, and then hit Shift A to add in another cube. We'll scale this down nice and small, and then scale it up along the Z axis by hitting S and Z. You can add a little extra detail to your chimney by tabbing into edit mode, hitting Ctrl R to add in an edge loop, sliding it upwards, right about there. Here's another cool shortcut. Alt left click on the edge to select that whole loop of faces. Now you can extrude by hitting E and scale to make it a nice little chimney topper there. Now, if you're like me and you just find something deeply satisfying about creating, you might be stoked to hear what I have to say about Storyblocks, this video sponsor. Storyblocks is the all-in-one creator's toolbox. Think about them as a painter's palette, except for digital creators and artists. They bring together a high-quality, human-made stock library of video footage, music, sound effects, templates, and basically anything you can think of for workflow enhancing. If you create or tell stories and want the most professional quality content made by filmmakers and artists across the world to enhance your vision and add that bit of secret sauce to every one of your projects, Storyblocks will do that for you. It's designed for speed and simplicity. They also offer thousands of customizable templates for applications like After Effects, Premiere Pro, and DaVinci Resolve to up your quality with things like title animations, overlays, logos, and more. Everything you download is royalty-free, so pros and hobbyists alike can create with peace of mind. To start telling better stories with these tools, head to storyblocks.com/cggeek, and they're offering 15% off right now any annual plan for a limited time. That special discount though is only available through my link in the video description. Now we can start adding some details to our house like doors and windows. Tabbing into edit mode on your house and placing your cursor where you want your first window, go Shift A and add in a plane. Hit R and 90 degrees to rotate it 90 degrees, and then X to do this along the X axis. Scale it down to be an appropriately sized window, then hit S and Z to scale it up a little bit taller. Pull it away from the house just a little bit, as you can see there, and then go Control R to add in a loop cut across the middle. Now let's make some window panes here by hitting I to inset the face along the top, and hit I along the bottom one to inset the face along the bottom. Now what you can do is, with face select mode still enabled, Alt left click on the corner to select the ring, then Alt Shift right click on the corner of the top one to select that portion of the window frame as well, and we'll hit E to extrude these out nice and thick. That looks pretty good, and I can scale it down just a little bit smaller. Now I'll hit L to select that entire window and hit Shift D to duplicate it. Hitting G and Z to pull it up higher for the window up on top here and scaling it down a little bit smaller. The same window can now be duplicated to our dormer over here as well. So we'll go Shift D, pull it over there. This one's gonna have to be a little bit smaller. And then of course you're gonna have to rotate your viewport with the middle mouse button and then pull it back along the Y axis. Somewhere like that on our little house here. Let's duplicate it again for a little window down here by the front door, or where the front door will be. We'll get to that in a second here. We're already practically finished with our little house here. Let's just add a door on the front of it here by tabbing into edit mode, Shift right clicking to place your cursor, and then going Shift A and adding a plane just like the windows. Rotate 90 degrees along the X axis. Scale it down to a nice door size, scale it up along the Z axis, and then we're just going to hit I to inset a door into this frame, hit G and Z to pull it down a little bit there, and then just like with the windows, Alt left click on the door frame here with face select mode still selected to extrude out a little door frame. And that looks really good, and it's time already to start coloring our house. So to do this, we're first going to turn on some rendering, so switch to rendered view up on top here, and I'll switch to cycles render by clicking on the render properties and switching it from EV to cycles. If you have slower hardware, you might want to leave it on EV, but if you have faster hardware, switch it to cycles. The next thing I'm going to quick do for some basic lighting, I'll take the default light in the scene right now, go down to the lamp settings and change it from a point light to a sunlight. I'll change the strength from 1000, which is really high for a sun lamp, down to something like 7. I'll change the angle down to 1. Then I'm just going to double tap R to kind of rotate that sun lamp so it's hitting the front of our house, something like that. The only other thing I'll do for lighting is also add some HDR lighting to kind of fill in the shadows on the house. To do this, it's really simple. Go to your world shading, choose a new color, and choose environment texture. It's pink because there's no texture loaded, but you'll hit open, and here you'll want to open up a HDR texture. You can download these free online from sites like Polyhaven, which is my favorite. I'll link to it in the description. The one I like here is the Monk's Forest. I'm just going to select it and click open image. Now you'll see it in the background. I don't really want that, so under the render properties down to film, you'll want to check transparent. And we're ready to start coloring our scene. So switch to your materials and click new. I'm going to immediately add in a second material, click new again. And this one will be the roof color to the house, so it'll be a nice dark brown color. Now to add this to our house, we'll tab into edit mode. With face select still selected, we're going to select the top faces on our house. Just rotating around with the middle mouse button and selecting all these faces. Same with the little dormer here, just those top faces. And click assign with material 2. That looks good. We're just going to be turning up the roughness on all these materials so they're less shiny. We'll use this same material for the door, so select that face and click assign for material 2. Now let's make a third material. This one will be sort of a light purpley blue color here. This one will be the shutters on the end of the house. So Alt left click to select all the shutters on the house and click assign. Same on this shutter and the same on this shutter. That looks pretty nice. Now we need sort of a yellow color. If you might have noticed, we're kind of copying the colors and the shape of the house from the movie Up, just as it's a very traditional looking cute house that I thought would be fun to recreate. So for this new material, we'll choose sort of a light yellow color. This will be sort of the base color. So we'll select the whole front of the house and this little section of the house and assign both the yellow colors to that. Now I just want one more color here and I want it to be a little bit orangier of a yellow color, something like that. And that will be this section of the house. I'll just hit L to select it and assign the new orange color to it. We'll go one more material. This will be a darker sort of orange material for the chimney here. So hit L to select the chimney and assign this material to it. And then for these frames down here, I'll give them the blue color. Now, a lot of beginners should be really proud of this and could stop right here, but here's a few pro tips to take this house and kind of take it to the next level with some artistic effects. Sort of the same way that Storyblocks, this video sponsor, will take your content to the next level. What we're gonna do is grab the camera in the scene and hit 0 to jump to camera view. Right now you can see it's not a very good camera view. We want to move the camera down to be around more like a person level height would be. So I'll pull it right around here and then hit Alt-Control-0 to snap the camera right to that frame. You know it, we're doing the shortcut simulator. Then with the camera selected, in the camera settings, change the focal length to be something like 24, a bit wider. Then you can hit G to move the camera around while you're in camera view, and middle mouse button to zoom it in. You know what, I think I'll add a different color to the second story of our house. So what I'm gonna do is go Control R to add a loop cut, pull it all the way down to the bottom, and then hit G and Z to pull it up straight. So we have a nice straight line here. And then Alt left click, my favorite shortcut, to select that ring of faces there. And in our materials, we'll assign the light blue to this higher point. And then with the little corner of the house, we'll do the same thing. Control R to add a loop cut, pull it all the way down to the bottom, G and Z to pull it up. Now I'm just gonna go Control R and add 2 more loop cuts right in a row here. And then with edge select mode, we're gonna Alt right click that ring of vertices and scale it a little bit bigger. We can select this ring of faces and give it a warmer color of orange. Now here's a few things you can do to take your house to the next level. First of all, adding a little bit of curvature can add character to the house. So I could tab into edit mode, and with the roof selected, go Control R to add a loop cut. Then just grabbing the vertice on the top corner here, I can pull that up to go a little bit higher on both sides. That little bit of curvature adds some nice character to the house. We can do the same thing with the front end of the house here then, adding a loop cut there, and then selecting the front vertice there and giving it a little bit of curvature. Little details like this go a long way in making the house a little bit more character. Now obviously there's not a whole lot of detail in the house, but you can add a lot of detail in the shadows. So maybe you followed my 1-minute low poly tree tutorial. If you haven't, you probably should, but if you're not going to, you can download this finished tree file in the description. And I'm just going to open up this simple tree model that we created on the channel by going File and Append. Locating the tree file, grabbing the object and clicking Append. Just gonna scale it down a little bit and then position it kind of towards the front end of our camera here. So it's casting some shadows onto the house. As you can see, just having it here is already adding some nice shadow detail to the house. You can play around with the scale of the tree, just kind of looking at how it's casting the shadow on your house. Something like that ain't looking too shabby. You can go ahead and duplicate this tree and put it in the background if you want to kind of fill out your scene a little bit more. But that's just the first step. There's 2 more tricks to making this look even better. For starters, we're gonna go into our render settings and enable freestyle render. This adds some sort of brush strokes to your final render to give it a little bit of that hand-painted character mixed with the 3D. Then second, we're gonna go to the view layer page here and enable ambient occlusion by checking it right there. Now scrolling down, we have our freestyle settings, and there's a whole lot of settings here that could get confusing, but all we can do is check a few of these extra options on the edge type, like ridge and valley, contour, and material boundary. And we can also uncheck some of them like border and silhouette, just because we don't need a ton of line art added to our scene here. Next, before we render, let's go ahead and brighten our whole world settings a little bit here by changing the strength on our HDR here up to something like 2.5, which is a pretty good amount. Now let's go ahead and give our cute little house a render by hitting F12 and see what she's looking like. There it is, and it's looking pretty great. That line art just isn't quite doing it for me yet, so we'll tweak a few settings before moving forward. Under freestyle strokes, I'm going to change it from plain to sketchy. This will give it a much more interesting look. Under the freestyle alpha, let's just turn down the transparency a little bit so it's less strong. That should be enough, and let's hit F12 and see what we're looking like now. There we go. That sketchy line art is looking much more subtle and is definitely something we can work with now in the compositor. So clicking on the compositing settings here, click new for some new node setups here. All I'm going to do is go Shift A, add in a color mix color node. Drop it right in here, and this will be for adding the ambient occlusion that we rendered out back over the image. So select it and drag it into the bottom socket there. Change the mix type to be multiply, and there you have it. The ambient occlusion is being added. If I hit M to mute that node, you can see what it looks like before and after. It's just adding a little bit more contrast to these shadows, which I thought looked good. And then for the final little bit of spice, we're gonna add some unique style to this by adding in Blender's new filtering node for creative renders. It's called the Kuhera node. go Shift A, and under Creative, choose the Kuhera node. Drop it down into your node group here. Control Shift click it to add the Viewer node to it. And you can see right now it's a very subtle effect, but we can increase this to have even more style on our scene. I'm going to take the size up to 13. I'm going to take the uniformity down just a little bit here to a 3, and then I'll take the size even up higher and see if I like that, maybe 16. Depending on how dark the ambient occlusion makes your final render, you might want to go to the color management settings and brighten it up a little bit with the exposure setting here, adjusting that along with the gamma. That's going to wrap this cute little house tutorial up right about there. So I hope maybe this is one of your first Blender tutorials ever, and it just kind of sparked some creativity where you guys can go ahead and start creating variations of these little houses and just dive into the fun world of 3D art in Blender. If you do create something cool, upload your art on Instagram or any of the socials and tag CJ Geek so I can see what you guys are creating. But that'll do it for me, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!